Arabian nights, like Arabian days. What's next? They're hotter than
More
hot.
often than not.
They're hotter than hot.
In a lot of good
Ways.
ways.
Today, we're heading to the Middle East.
Today we are taking you to my favourite part of the world, the Middle East. We haven't talked about it yet. I get a little bit like, it's my favourite place in the world, and I'm dying to go back there with my family. And we had adventures there when we were young, and we managed to take our family just for a little bit of time about 2 years ago.
We spent a wonderful month in the United Arab Emirates, and most of that time actually we spent in a beautiful oasis city called Al Ain. On the border with Oman.
Yeah, not many people know so much about this town. Everyone's heard of Dubai and perhaps also Abu Dhabi. And Al Ain is 1 hour from each of those cities. It's such a great place. And like Ross said, it's right on the border with Oman. And so you're in this amazing spot where you can visit Oman and visit Dubai and visit Abu Dhabi. It's amazing. So we like it because it's a little bit smaller, small town, and it's still...
It's smaller than Abu Dhabi and Dubai, let's just say that. and I felt it was a little bit more sort of authentic Middle Eastern experience. There wasn't the huge high-rise buildings and... Yeah.
In Al Ain, the buildings are not as high and imposing as in Dubai.
They're not. They look sort of quite traditional, actually.
Well, I mean, you still get your occasional mega mansion.
Oh man, the mega mansions over there, amazing. See, Al Ain is the sort of city where a lot of the elite in the Emirati society get to have their home away from home. It's like their summer home. But often these summer homes are these amazing, huge mansions surrounded by date palms. And we had an opportunity to stay in a place just like that, didn't we?
Yeah, we had a chance to house sit there for a month on a mini date farm in a rundown palace.
Amazing.
It was amazing. Yeah. So what do you do when you go to the Middle East? You take your children to the camel market and try to sell them.
Yes. So today we want to talk about the camel market. Wow.
We like to go to authentic, real places. Not just tourist trap places. And so we went to the local camel market. We'd never been to a camel market before.
I hadn't. And it was pretty amazing. Like, we have a lot of camels in Australia. In fact, in Australia,
I've never seen any.
Well, it was actually an Emirati person that told me that in Australia we have the largest population of wild camels in the world. But I'd never seen a camel in Australia. Had you? No, they must be in the middle of Australia somewhere where nobody lives.
They must be hiding.
That's true.
From the east coast. They must be in the west coast.
I think they're smack in the middle, in all that desert in the middle. But at the camel market, we were not quite sure what to expect.
No, we just were like, oh, there's a camel market. Let's go check it out.
So we went there with our family.
Sell a child.
We did. We parked the car, and we got out, and there were just... It's just hard to quite describe the scene before us, but you just imagine like pens and pens of camels and sheep and like monster sheep. I'll tell you about the monster sheep
and monster
later.
Camels.
Oh my word.
They were like every kind of camel. There was like big, beautiful camels. And in Al Ain, we've never been to this, but I'm dreaming of the future. They do a camel beauty contest. For real. It's like the most beautiful long eyelashes and the shiniest coat, and they for real do a camel beauty I think they rub them with saffron. It's amazing. It's a dream of mine to go there one day.
Keep in mind too, they have the camel races.
And races? Oh, the Middle East is the coolest place.
They've replaced the jockeys with like these remote control boxes as the jockey, and they have these huge camel races. That's fantastic. But the camel market was the place to be. You go to the camel market to find your prize-winning camel racer. You're the next beauty pageant of the camel beauty pageant contest.
Way to make your grand entrance on the streets of Agrabah than riding your very own brand new camel.
Watch out, they spit.
And some dog meat.
Yes.
There was. That
Are
sounds harsh.
Are we going to share the experience of the camel bones? I think we need to.
We arrived in the Middle East and my family all started dropping like flies. They picked up some horrible flu from the
Probably the airplane or
something. And I didn't get it. I have a very strong constitution.
She does. Thanks,
the rest
thanks
of
to your mum feeding you all sorts of stuff when you were young.
The rest of them were just like, poof, poof, poof. And because we were house sitting, I felt so bad. So we were like quarantining them. And then the family left. And then I was like, oh, everyone's so sick. I wanted to help them get better. And so I often make bone broth to help, it's good for them. And make feel better soup with bone broth. And so the owner had told us we could use what was in the freezer. And so I dug around, I found some bones and I was like, perfect. And so I boiled them up for hours. And, they weren't behaving like normal bones. Like
they weren't smelling like normal bones either.
So bad. And
it filled the mansion with this repugnant smell. I just remember being in bed sick and coming out for the bathroom or something and going, what is that smell?
I was like, don't be rude, it's your bone broth. And so, and it was a little bit glutinous. But
no, it was forming this jelly.
Yeah,
it was like forming a jelly as it boiled.
Like glutinous.
Oh man.
Anyway, I just proceeded forward anyway. Just if you're gonna do a job, do it properly. So I made the broth. Well, the broth-like substance came from a bone, so it had to be healthy because bones.
Well,
anyway, I added vegetables. I did my best. Lots of salt. I did my best, and
salt can almost cure anything, but not this.
I gave it to my family. I was like, eat this. It's good for you.
I took one sniff of it and nearly hurled. I was like, there is no way on God's given earth that I'm going to touch this thing. No way.
Oh my gosh. No one would eat it. And then finally, it smelled pretty bad. So finally I was like sad that I'd wasted hours of my life trying to like help my family.
And then?
Fruitlessly, and so we just threw it outside, and like even the turkeys wouldn't eat it.
There was a big farm full of turkeys and dogs. They wouldn't touch it. It
was gross.
We then later find out.
No. So the owners come home a month later, and we told them this story, and they were like, "Oh, they were the camel bones.
They're
for
the camel bones for the dog." Oh, she was about to feed me camel bone gluggy. Gelatinous. What's the word?
Gelatinous.
Gelatinous broth.
I think.
Oh, it was just nasty. It's almost bad as that Black Forest meat that we ate that time. Oh man.
That's another story.
Keep
your story separate.
Time. Oh my goodness. So there you go, a little side story about camels.
Camels were like a theme.
So, but people go there to buy camels to eat.
Yeah, no, they keep all the sick and mangy ones separated in this like mangy pen.
That was pretty nasty to see that. But
so we park and we walk out and there's 7 super blonde people.
Yeah, walking through the camel souk. They call it the camel souk, the camel market. And as we walked through, we were a bit of a novelty. People were sort of wanting to speak to us, and people wanted to get some, bakshish. They wanted some tips, and I'm like, what am I giving you tips for? You haven't done anything. It took us a while to figure that out
because they were like, everyone was so helpful. Like all these
very,
people
very
were coming
helpful.
up, and they're like, "Would you like a photo with camels?" And we're like, "Yes." And then they wanted some money for it, and we're like, of course.
Give me a break.
Well, we gave them some.
We did.
Maybe I can't remember.
Careful, come back. Because
Mommy
can get a bit protective.
Here.
End up putting camera. Look. Say hello.
So the kids got to pat a camel. And did they have a ride? I don't think they had.
No, there's no rides.
And we just wandered around inspecting the camels. As if we would like to buy one.
Yes.
We tried to put that look on our face that was like,
Oh, yes. Oh, no, that one's a little bit skinny there. I don't think I'd like that one. Lovely.
Yeah.
There were 2 highlights for me that stand out, and then I'd love to hear your highlights. But the 2 highlights for me was I went over to see the sheep and the goats because I actually like livestock. I like going to the, like the fairs, or we call them in Australia like the show, the Royal Melbourne Show. I always like to go and see the livestock. I like to see the cows and the sheep. And just, I don't know, there's just something about that I like. So I go over to the sheep pens, and I got to tell you, there was the most monstrous goats that I have seen in my entire...
Or sheep?
No, they were goats. They were humongous.
Like horse size.
They were almost the size of like a mini horse. It scared the crap out of me. I was like, that is a dangerous animal.
You don't want that to ram you in like the
Oh
mountains.
my word. Oh my word. And there were like goats giving birth right there and then.
Yeah,
It was
our kids got to see,
amazing.
I think it was a sheep.
Sheep.
Had it been born 1 hour earlier? Or just been born?
No, there was some being born. I remember
they got
seeing
to
them
see
being
these
born
brand
with-
new animals
kids.
and engage. And like everyone was so friendly. Everyone is so friendly in the Middle East, so welcoming, and the hospitality is amazing. And so, yeah, we walked around this camel market, and
And the other thing that stood out to me is at the very end of our experience, we went past this particular, it was an old male camel. And,
are you going to talk about the bubble camel?
oh man, the bubble camel.
Did you know that it's actually something they do? I've looked it up.
Yeah?
Yeah, camels can like blow
Blow
bubbles.
the inner parts of their mouths out of their mouths and like blow them up into bubbles. It's amazing.
So gross, it's not amazing.
And
it's gross.
I'd never seen this before, but this old male camel was just sitting on his own, and maybe he was just feeling a little bit randy or something, but he just was, maybe he wanted some ladies, but he was full on sweating and frothing from the mouth and blowing the inner parts of his cheeks outside his mouth, and
Our kids were all like, "Oh, that's gross!"
it was
It
absolutely
so gross.
fascinating. It was the most fascinating thing I've seen.
I have this theory about camels, and it's a good theory.
Yep.
I feel like they're the weirdest creatures on Earth. I feel like if we didn't have any camels on Earth and we discovered them on Mars, we would be like, whoa, look at those aliens. They're so weird. And we would be amazed and horrified at these weird creatures. Camels are aliens.
I think they might be.
It's true.
And they've got these amazing lips, like their lips, like.
And they're like,
Oh, the sounds, so cool, so cool. So the Alain Camel Market was a highlight for us. The kids loved it. We loved it. Had a great time.
so when you're getting out there in the world to learn and discover, do something that you would never normally do and just see what happens and see what adventures you can make of it.
Be like a local.
Be
Be like a local.
And be brave.
Thanks, guys, for
Thanks
tuning
for
in.
coming. See you next time.
See ya. Bye.
Who can do the best camel sound?
Okay, ready?
It's pretty good.
How's that?
All right, my
Give
turn.
it a go. What the heck was that?
It's a camel.
It was like.
Mine's a camel from Mars.
Let's see if you can do the frothy out thing. Like, no, they're a little bit like this, like this.
No, they eat like, and they.
Yeah, but they flop like them. Their lips go like that. Did my hair go like a toupee then? Camels, love them.